The Terminator franchise has been a staple when it comes to action movies and series. But what happens when we get a comic book adaptation? What am I talking about? I am talking about the Terminator Metal #1. You already know what to do. Strap up. It's time to go to war with Skynet. And roll that intro, cuss. Yeah. What's going on, Geek Corner? This is your boy, Earthsmack, the mad scientist, and welcome back to the Orange Phoenix Media channel. So today we are covering Terminator Metal #1. And I'm telling you, man, this book is really good. It gets real detailed, and it was something that I was always curious about, like the war with Skynet. Like, we always get the time travel with Arnold Schwarzenegger going towards the present versus the future, but we never really dive deep into the war with Skynet, like the Resistance versus the Terminators. We never get to that point. And with Terminator Metal, it actually expands on that a good bit. And you definitely want to stick around to the end of this video because you will get my personal review on Terminator Metal. So, Terminator Metal opens up with this dialogue saying, "Mission log, Professor Percy Dalton, TechCom Squad DS307704. The machines first attacked us just before I was born. I spent my entire life trying to understand them, how they work, how they think, how they adapt. I've learned so much, but one cold truth remains. They will not stop until we are all dead. Thankfully for us, we can adapt too. A year ago, this new T800 model was brought into my lab. 4 months. I've examined every part of him, and I was ultimately able to reprogram him. Since then, he's been an incredible asset to the Resistance. More than that, though, Tex is my friend." Now, this first 2 pages seems a little familiar. Now, if you are familiar with Terminator 2 Judgment Day, which I want to see why you wouldn't be, but I feel like Terminator 2 Judgment Day was a turning point in that franchise because you go from Arnold Schwarzenegger being the bad guy to Arnold Schwarzenegger being the good guy, and he's been like that ever since. And there's been series and everything else where the T800s were good guys going up against a more advanced model. But I do like this dynamic because it seems like Dalton is really attached to this T800, especially with naming him and especially calling him his friend. Now, from that standpoint, when you get to this war, it seems like this ship is flying over, drop this bomb, explodes everything around them except for Dalton, of course, because Dalton is the main character here. But when Dalton comes to, he's looking for Tex. And like, yo, where are you? It wasn't Tex. It was another Terminator. Thankfully for Dalton, we're reprogramming Tex. Tex saved his life. And he says, "Thanks, Tess. Honestly, I'm losing track of how many times you saved me now." He like, "I calculate 21 interactions that deferred terminal results for you, Professor Dalton." He like, "Tex, just call me Percy. I don't know how many times I told you." You told me 13 times, man." He like, okay, enough. So from that standpoint, obviously in the records, they're looking for survivors. And Tex is saying, listen, there are 2 survivors, likely human. So we can go check that out. And from that standpoint, you are introduced to Cooper and Amos. Now, this is what the dynamic actually kind of sets in that. Now, natural response to Professor Dalton, like, yo, there's a T800 following you. Like, we need to kill that thing right now. And Dalton's like, yo, chill out, relax. Tex is with me. Tex has been reprogrammed. Tex, this is Cooper, Tex. And Cooper's like, "Good to see you, Percy. It's been a while." And you're like, "All right, Amos, you need to stand down. You need to relax. You need to chill out." Now, again, you got to look at the totality of destruction with the T800s, with the Terminators, right? Like, so if you see one, you want to take one out. That is your natural response. Like, that is not lost on me whatsoever. But Amos is like, the whole time we didn't get any intel about the machines in the area. He like, "Yeah, we were the same, and Tex is usually pretty good at keeping us out of trouble. They just seem to come out of nowhere." And Amos like, or maybe they were tipped off somehow. And Tex is like, "Hey man, we are wasting time. Skynet will discover our infiltration in their next security cycle and adapt. Our information is actionable for the next 3 hours. We must get back to base as soon as possible. And he was like, excuse me? I'm not taking orders from a... And Cooper like, look, Amos, relax. The robots got a point. Come on, let's get moving before any machines show up. And he says, I wish to raise a concern about Amos. And Dalton was like, yeah, he seemed to be struggling. And he was like, no. Here's the thing. He is reducing the group's efficiency at a rising rate. Currently at minus 18% from our original overall terrain coverage. Requesting permission to rectify. He was like, rectify? What were you talking about, rectify? And so Tex walks over to Amos and grabs him by the arm. And he was like, what are you grabbing me for? Get your claws off of me. He like, I shall carry you, Amos. It will increase our pace. He like, I don't care. Like, don't freaking touch me. He like, you are at risking mission success. Comply. So Tex is like, yo, stop. Amos, please. He's just trying to help. We're slowing down too much. Let him help you. It's what he's programmed for. And from that standpoint, Cooper steps away, and Cooper steps on a mine and loses his life. Now, one thing you got to understand here is that Tex is programmed to finish the mission no matter what. This was really the first clue that he is mission only. Yes, I'm here to protect Dalton, but this mission, what you programmed me to do, I need to finish. And we need to finish it at an optimal efficiency. Now, it goes on to say, we don't have time for this, Tex. And she was like, look, stop freaking calling it that. It's not your pet, Percy. It's a freaking tin can. He said, whatever the hell this is, if you want to let this thing lead you to your death, fine, but I'm not going along with it. And Tex is like, no. If the machines find you, it could endanger the mission. You must continue with us. And from that standpoint, Amos pull out the Thule and fires off on Tex. Like, this issue was very, very tense. I'm like, will Tex react? Like, will he respond? Because you just shot me. You know what I'm saying? So Dalton like, yo, drop the gun, Amos, right now. And he was like, what the hell are you doing? He like, you point that at my friend again, and I'll blow your head smooth off. And Amos like, yo, friend? Are you insane? These things are not our friends. You idiot, they try to wipe us out. Now, as they're having this conversation, like, come on now, if you're having a loud conversation, you're firing off rounds, someone stepped on a landmine, what does that invite? That invites more T-800s, and they took out Amos because of his loud talking, and he just wouldn't set the piss up. Now, from that standpoint, it shot Dalton. Now, Dalton is injured at this point, and it seems like this is going to be the end for Professor Dalton, only for Tex to come up behind this T-800 and take it out. Now, this is where, again, the mission comes in at. And Dalton says, all right, come on, let's get out of here. There's probably going to be more of them coming any second. You're like, Tex? And Tex is analyzing what's going on, and it says significant blood loss, injuries fatal if unattended, calculating potential delay to mission completion. And he says, no, I'm not helping you. And you're like, what you mean? You're like, come on, quit messing around. He says, this is not a joke, sir. You have a 13% chance of survival, and if I waste time attempting to rescue you, the probability of mission success drops below 10%. Like, Tex, you can't just leave me here. I'm afraid it is necessary, but do not worry. I will ensure the files are returned to base. The mission will be completed. Like, yo, Tex, come back and get me. And like yelling out Tex's name. Tex is mission first. So it's imperative that he goes back to base. Now, this is the end of that issue, and I'll have to give you my personal review on Terminator Metal. Now, there is a few key parts that I skip out on because I really want you guys to go out to your LCS and pick up Terminator Metal. This is a very, very enjoyable book. Highly intense book. Now, the question is, what will happen when Tex go to base without Dalton? Like, what exactly will happen in this situation? Because if Dalton's dead and everybody around him is dead, like, would they trust Tex going forward? Like, at some point, will his artificial intelligence take over? Like, you know what? I really don't like these people anyway. I'm gonna just turn on them. Like, there's a lot of questions that need to be answered. Also, Dalton. Like, will Dalton survive? Because it seems as though he won't. He won't. But it seems though, if you really look at this story, all of them could survive if it wasn't for Amos popping off the way he was popping off. Like, he just couldn't get past his own anger. Now, when it comes down to this particular comic, though, I'm looking forward to read issue number 2, issue number 3 going forward. One thing you need to know about Dynamite Comics, they've been popping hot, okay? They've been dropping some serious gems, okay? You got Space Ghost, you got Gargoyles, now you got Terminator Metal, you got Blue Falcon, you got Herculoids, you got Thundercat. Man, it's so much out there for you to digest and read. Dynamite Comics is doing it. It is doing the damn thing, okay? Highly recommend the Terminator Metal, especially if you are a huge fan of the Terminator franchise and you want to sink your teeth into something else and to another side story. You definitely want to jump into Terminator Metal. Highly recommend. You already know what to do. Hit that like and subscribe button and that notification bell, because when you hit that notification bell, it tells you all of our content, live or recorded, if you hit that drop down box and select all. So until next time, y'all, peace.